Hello guys, I welcome you all again to my channel. In this channel, what we discuss are about career growth, immigration, travels, interview tips, and how you can have a work balance situation in your life, and success tips and motivation. If you're just coming across this channel, do well to click on the like button and click on the follow button and the subscribe button. This will make you to have opportunity to listen and get to see a lot of our content that help your career growth. Basically, we'll be discussing about three types of questions that you should ask in your interview. So basically, in every interview, you are actually given an opportunity to also ask questions. That opportunity is actually a great one because it actually gives you that opportunity to be the interviewer at that time, and it presents also to you an opportunity to showcase how much of intelligence you've got, how much of preparation that you have made for that job interview. So basically, there are three types of interview questions or questions that you are expected to ask the interviewer. The very first one is cultural type of question. The second one is role specific questions. And the third one is hesitation questions. Basically, the cultural type of questions would help you to further dissect the company, get to know more about how the company operates. Because the first part of your interview, an interview is actually divided into two parts. The first part, which basically talk about yourself, how you are the right candidate. So the interviewer is asking questions, how your experience match with the job role, how what you're doing at the moment would be of benefit to the company or the organization. So that's the first part of the of any interview. So the second part is the part where you are actually asked to also ask the interviewer question, and that part is an opportunity for you to know more about the company, because most of the time job applicants do not pay attention to this because they just want to get the job, which is understandable. But you need to actually know what sort of organization you're going, if that organization is actually good for you. I have mentioned this in the past, because there are times that you will also get a job in an organization, and it will within 1 month, it will look like you you enslaved yourself, or you are in bondage. So you would quickly be looking out for a way out of that organization. So you also want to ask questions, very very important. So what is cultural based question? So cultural based questions are questions where you ask about the organization, the challenges, the greatest challenges about the organization. So you want to ask questions. I'll be giving about 5 types of questions you can actually ask in this sort of question. One, you want to ask the interviewer that what is your favorite part of this job or in your organization. You want to ask two, that what do you love most about your job. So when you ask this kind of question, you are also putting the interviewer on the spot. You would be able to say a lot of things. Generally, it is believed that when a communication or conversation takes place, the person who talks much feel better, feel themselves at the end of the conversation. So the interviewer asks you question, so, and you did not ask question back. They will feel better, at the end of that interview. But when you also put them on the spot, asking them what's your favorite part of your job. They want to talk, and you get to pick some points, in the course of their talking. You want to say that what do you love most about your job? That's the second one. What makes people stay back in your company? What is that unique thing about your organization that make employee not want to go? So when you're asking this question, you are also probing further to know much about that company or the organization. This is very important. You want to also ask questions like, what is the greatest challenges or opportunities that the company is likely to face in the next 6 months? You want to ask questions like that. So it will give you an overview of what the company is like at the moment, what challenges they are going through, and what sort of opportunity are coming their way. How would you describe your working environment? Is it a toxic one? How would you, So it goes a long way to tell you more about that company. And this would also present you as somebody who had actually prepared, who is genuinely interested in the role, and many more advantages that this will portray for you. So that's it. Role specific question. So while your interview is actually going on, one of those things you want to do is to ask role specific questions, about that role you're being interviewed for. You want to say that, please clarify the possible opportunity, or challenges that I'll be facing in this role in the next 1 month, 2 months, if I'm eventually given the job. That's one. Two, you want to say, what is the typical day or week for somebody in this role? What is it like? A typical day for that person. Maybe as a nurse, what sort of patient are you likely going to see? So they will begin to tell you, from morning in the morning, you are likely going to have a patient coming, maybe it's an outpatient, or you are going to go around taking vital sign, you're going to go around doing this, like that. So they will begin to break it down for you. So what is typical day on this role, or typical week for this role? You want to ask questions like, what are the challenges in this role and opportunities in the next 6 months? So another major one you want to also ask is, what do you want a successful candidate to achieve in the next 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days? So what would you be expecting from me if I'm eventually given this job in the next first 30 days of my assumption of duty? This particular one, I've asked it, and it has actually been a great one. Another one you want to ask is, how will you, measure my performance in the next 6 months on the role? So you are already, it's put you forward as somebody who is already putting themselves, who is already seeing themselves on the role, on the job. And that's something you want to actually do. So another one you want to say is, what is the next step in the recruitment process? I want to just know about what the next step in this recruitment process is. So it makes them to tell you, what next they'll be doing, and it actually also will give you an hint if you have actually performed well. So these are what you want to say while you ask those questions. And the last but not the least is hesitation question. So you want to ask, so this one is actually a difficult one, because right there and then you might be knowing if you have actually performed woefully. But the beautiful thing is, it will present you to the interviewer or the employer as somebody who is open-minded, who is not afraid of feedback, and it will also give you an opportunity to fight for the job. So when they ask, you now begin to say things, like you want to ask question that what is your hesitation about my performance? Is there anything you want me to clarify for you, as part of my experiences, my academic achievements, while we were talking? You want to ask question like, based on what we have discussed today about, what is your hesitation? What hesitation do you have towards me, filling this position? This is a very big one. They look at you and say, oh, this person is really wonderful and is really ready to hear. So you want to say things like that. You want to say, how do you compare me to other candidates you have interviewed for this job? So when you ask this sort of question, you want to basically, put your hands in the mouth of the interviewer, and they begin to divulge, especially if the interviewer is not too experienced in, interviewing, like that. Do you want any hesitation about my do you have any hesitation about my qualification? What else? Do you have anything you want me to clarify before this conversation stops? Like that. So you want to say things in that regard, that would make you to, get the feel of what the interviewer is actually thinking about your performance. And this is what you want to do. So these are the three type of questions you want to ask while you are being asked to also ask the interviewer a question. So, you want to ask question on cultural, what's the culture, the work culture in the organization? What is the work environment like? What is one unique thing about your organization that keep employee, like that? What are the challenges facing the employer at the moment? So these are cultural questions. So you want to ask question that is role specific. You want to, say what is a typical day on this job. You want to ask question like what sort of expectation would your organization be expecting from you in the first few days of your assumption? So you want to ask question like what is the next step in the recruitment process? So these are things you want to ask that would put you forward as somebody who had actually prepared for their interview. So, and last but not the least, you want to ask question about hesitation. You want to ask question about if the employer have got any hesitation about your performance. You want to ask question around other candidates, that makes that actually puts forward comparing yourself with other candidates. And these are what you want to actually do while you're being interviewed. I'll stop it here. Please do well to share this video. Put down your comments. When you do this, it's actually make the algorithm of Facebook, YouTube to sort of suggest the video to other people, and that will also help my channel, my page to grow. Thank you for for staying till this time, and do well to also share the video. You will also be helping myself, helping somebody on your friend list. Thank you. I see you in my next video.